Have you ever felt like you're just spinning your wheels? You're working hard, but you don't feel like you're actually getting any closer to your biggest goals? Well, you're in exactly the right place. We're about to decode the strategic map that the ultra-successful use to get what they want. So let's build your map together. All right, let's start with a quick diagnostic and be really honest with yourself here. 1, do you know exactly what you want? 2, do you know the specific actions you need to take today to move forward? And 3, do you know what you need to let go of? If you hesitated on any of those, that's actually perfect. It just means we've found the exact spot where we need to start drawing your map. So here's the core idea that honestly changes everything. The wealthy don't just manifest, they map. See, manifesting, that's kind of like passive hope. It's wishful thinking. But mapping, that's active strategy. It's the difference between just wishing for a destination and building a detailed, step-by-step roadmap to actually get there. So let's grab a pen and start drawing yours. All right, here's how we're going to do it. We're going to walk through 5 key sections. First, we'll nail down your destination. Then we'll choose your vehicle, calculate your fuel, identify your skills, and finally, figure out that all-important first step. Okay, first things first. You can't create a map if you don't know where you're going, right? So this is all about your destination. We've got to get crystal clear on the lifestyle you really want, and then figure out exactly how much that lifestyle is going to cost. So this first stage, it really has 2 parts, the lifestyle plan and the money plan. The whole goal here is to bridge that gap between your daydreams and cold, hard reality. First, you get super specific about what your ideal life looks like. Then, you do the homework to put a precise, non-negotiable price tag on it. No vague estimates allowed. This step is all about precision. In the example from our source material, the total price tag for that dream lifestyle came out to this very specific number. And look, seeing a huge figure like $4.4 million isn't supposed to scare you. It's meant to clarify. Because with that one number, you've just turned a huge, fuzzy dream into a simple math problem. And a math problem is something we can solve. Okay, so you've got your destination locked in. Awesome. Now, you need a way to get there. That's what the vehicle plan is all about. It's about choosing the job or the business that can realistically generate the kind of money you need to reach that destination. First, you got to know your role on the team. Are you a visionary or are you an integrator? The visionary is the big picture person, right? The one who dreams up the destination. The integrator, on the other hand, is the master of making things happen. They're the one who builds the engine and actually charts the course. Neither one is better than the other, but knowing your natural strength is absolutely critical for choosing the right path for you. So next up, you choose your path. Are you going to be a W-2 employee earning a salary from a company, or are you going to be a business owner? Now, both of these can lead to serious wealth, but they are fundamentally different vehicles. They come with very different risks and, of course, very different rewards. This breaks down the core trade-off perfectly. The employee path, it offers stability and way less personal risk. It's a predictable, steady journey. The business owner path, though, well, that means you're taking on all the stress and all the risk yourself. But in return, you get total control and the potential for much faster, totally uncapped wealth. So you got to ask yourself, which price are you willing to pay to get to your destination? So when you look at your destination and your chosen vehicle, you land at this final critical decision. Does your current situation actually support your goal? If the answer is no, you either need to change jobs, quit what you're doing to start something new, or if you're one of the lucky ones, stay right where you are. The bottom line is this: you have to make a choice. Now we get to my favorite part, the sales plan. This is where we calculate our fuel. We're going to take that giant, intimidating number from your money plan, and we're going to break it all the way down into a single, actionable thing you can do every day. This is the math that makes the whole map actually work. So the first formula is actually pretty simple. You just take your total money goal, in our example, that's $4,427,000, and you divide it by how much money you make from a single sale. So let's just say you're selling a product that nets you $300 a year. When you do the math, it shows you need to make just under 15,000 sales in a year to hit your target. Now, that's still a big number, for sure, but it's way more tangible than $4.4 million, isn't it? We've just brought the goal from the stratosphere down to earth. Now let's bring it into your day-to-day. Okay, but this is where the magic really happens. Formula 2 takes that annual sales number and breaks it down into a daily target. You literally just take your total sales needed and divide by 365. And there it is. 41 sales per day.
This single number is your new mission. It completely transforms a vague, far-off dream into a clear, daily objective. So forget the $4.4 million. Your only job every single day is to figure out, how do I get 41 sales?
Right about now, you're probably thinking, okay, that's great, but how in the world do I get 41 sales a day? And that brings us to our final piece of the map, the skills plan. This is all about identifying and then mastering the specific skills you need to bridge the gap between where you are now and hitting that daily number. And here's the really good news. You don't have to be an expert in everything. The path to your goal isn't about learning 100 different things. It's about getting really, really good at a tiny handful of critical skills. It's all about leverage, finding the few skills that produce almost all of the results.
And these are the 3 critical components. First, you need a product, something to sell. It can be yours, it can be someone else's. Second, you need marketing. That's the skill of getting attention. And third, you need sales, which is the skill of turning that attention into actual money in the bank.
And this quote just sums it all up, doesn't it? These 3 pieces form an unbreakable chain. If you don't have a product, you've got nothing to market. If you don't have marketing, you've got no one to sell to. And if you don't have sales, you've got no fuel for your journey. They all have to work together, period. So let's recap. We've defined the destination, we've chosen the vehicle, we've calculated the fuel, and we've identified the skills. We have a complete map. Now, there's only one thing left to do. I love this quote from Marcus Aurelius that was in the source material. This whole mapping process, it's an exercise in seeking truth. It's about being brutally honest with yourself about where you are and what it's actually going to take to get where you want to go. The real harm isn't having the wrong plan, it's refusing to admit it and choosing to stay in the dark. And that, right there, is the real power of this 5-plan framework. It systematically moves you from some fuzzy, wouldn't it be nice kind of dream to a razor-sharp target, a path you chose on purpose, and a single number you can look at every single day to know if you're winning or losing.
So, here it is. You have the map. The path from a vague hope to a concrete reality is laid out right in front of you. And the only question left is the most important one of all. What's your first step?